AITA for telling my unborn baby's dad he will not be in our daughter's life? My now ex-boyfriend broke up with me when I was 5 months pregnant. He said he was no longer happy, but he would be there 100% to support me and the baby. He said there was no one else and it was just he didn't feel happy anymore. He was very absent when it came to appointments and schedules, work things over these days, including if we had scans coming up. We had a scare when baby was showing signs of decreased movements, in which he didn't show up to the hospital for. I have some concerns about how we are going to co-parents, and when asking him about them he just shows no interest in having these conversations with me. I asked if he was seeing someone else, as he has shown no interest in this pregnancy, and he said no. I asked him to swear on our baby's life and he did. Well, 2 weeks ago I found out he was lying and he was seeing someone else. After catching him in this lie, he told me he was sorry and he would do better, but it's been weeks and still nothing. This is really hard, as this pregnancy has been the worst experience of my life. I've been so sick and put on bed rest, so out of work for the past 3 months, and I have just been alone throughout the whole thing. Not only that, but he swore on our baby's life and still lied. I can't deal with it anymore. I told him that I was going to do this alone and he would not be involved in this baby's life at all, as he hasn't been around for the pregnancy. He asked me to change my mind, but my mind is already made up. I don't want my daughter to be around all these lies and letdowns. I told my mom about it and she thinks I'm being selfish. So am I the asshole? This is obviously a long story cut short. Edit. Sorry, this is my first time using Reddit, and when I tried to post this the first time I had used too many characters, so I had to make the story shorter. For the people saying I'm just upset he's in a new relationship, this isn't the issue at all. The issue there is that he lied about it after we had discussed we would mention new relationships to each other, as they could potentially be in our daughter's life. This is something we both agreed on, not just me wanting to know about his whole dating life. I know he can go for custody, but he has stated he doesn't want to, as he can't commit to that due to his work commitments. Instead, he will just see her when he has the time. I really don't want that for my daughter. The scare of decreased movements wasn't just a quick checkup at the hospital, it was happening over a few days, in which I informed him about, and when I decided to call my midwife and go to the hospital I told him about. I was there for close to 7 hours as they couldn't detect movements and needed to do some emergency scans. At this point I was already deemed high risk, which he knew. I was texting him what was going on and I wasn't getting any replies, and when I asked if he was coming to the hospital he said I'm too busy. If you have been in this situation before, you would know how scary it is and how much you would want the father of the child to be there in case something awful did happen. Now the comments. AITA. You don't have the legal right to deny the natural father access to his children. He can simply prove paternity, and, unless you can prove him unfit, he will pay child support and be in the child's life. And you don't get to deny your child their parent because you felt betrayed by the father. It's irresponsible, vindictive and childish. Next comment. Op didn't care if he were with someone, they cared that he's lied to them. I think they only asked him in the first place as he was showing no effort or intrigue in the baby, even when its life might have been at risk. Op wondered if it was because their interests were on someone else. He lied and has been this whole time. It's not about him dating, it's about him promising he'd be supportive and be there for the baby, but then doing none of it. It's about him lying and swearing on their child rather than be honest. He lied as he knew he was messing up and letting down Op and the baby. Not by dating, but by simply not giving a damn or caring if she lost their child. Op has a right to not add him to the birth certificate, and if he wants, then he can take it to court. Fine, we all know that, and Op does, but his actions have shown we doubt he'd expend that much effort. If she's made peace with this and can get by without him contributing, then fine, don't name him as father. It's a good way of ensuring crap parents who won't do anything for their child don't auto get access to mess up the kids by promising to show but never actually doing it. I've seen the effect that has on a child. So Op commented. I told him to take me to court over it if he wanted to see her, and he said no, as his work commitments will make it hard for him to have any custody at all. He would just see her when he has the time. I would rather my daughter not have to go through that. Next. Speaking from the perspective of a child that had to visit their bio dad on his terms, that happened up until I was 8 and then he disappeared, and it took literally therapy to tell me I wasn't the reason for this. So as a near 30-year-old now and mother, please protect your baby from that life if he truly doesn't want to put in the effort. I wish you and your sweet baby girl the best. Not the a-hole. Next story. For more stories, please subscribe and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Thanks.